Hi guys, I'm Shmee and hello to you from a rather gloomy morning in London, but I'm out today in the 675 LT, but that's not going to be the main McLaren we're here to see today. Firstly, what I do want to let you know though is my car, the LT Spider, is going to be taking part in the performance car show at Autosport. So this car will be in action in the live action arena, which is really quite awesome, and you'll be able to see it if you have paddock passes for the show backstage behind the show during Autosport at the NEC. But I'm going to move very quickly on from my McLaren because today I'm here with Sam, STG. How you doing?
Very well.
You've got a big smile.
Very well.
He's got a really big smile on his face, and that down there that you can't yet see is the reason you have this big smile on his face.
It is.
On your face. Sam has bought a McLaren. He has a McLaren 540C. I'm going to take credit for this because I have literally drilled McLaren into him.
You have trolled me.
Explain to me how this has happened, because like we called up like a month ago, 2 months ago, and you had just got the Arbath. And we were at Dub Customs, and we were talking obviously off camera about car plans and how the Arbath that wasn't yet revealed to you guys was not going to be your replacement. But I didn't think it was coming so quickly.
No, I have shocked myself. Yeah, this is the 540C. We went on the 570 GT test drive together.
We did.
And that was like my first experience in a McLaren. And I think
the Sports Series.
In the Sports Series. And at that point I knew
this was next.
Yeah.
He's been talking about it for ages.
I knew.
But, like McLarens, so rewind a little bit. When we were out in Dubai 2 years ago now,
yes,
but just over a year ago, and we went out in 650S.
Yeah.
You're like, this is really cool.
Really
then
cool.
You've been out in, I guess, a couple of mine and been like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Then you did that test drive.
Yeah.
And then
it's trolled me.
Subliminally, I've probably been like, when I had the 540C for 3 weeks in Dubai a few months ago.
Well, we bumped into each other as well.
Yes, of
in
course,
Dubai.
of
Like,
course.
literally, I came up and
I picked it up out of the dealer, literally rolled around the corner.
And I said, that's going to be Tim, isn't it? And at that point, I was still not that aware of 540s.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really like opened
Taken
my
in
mind
the
up
price
to them.
point.
And then obviously you did all your content. I was like, well, Tim liked it. It's fine.
It's got to be good. Well, tell me about this car then. You've wrapped it.
So this is not an MSO colour, unfortunately. The car amazingly was found. I've been working with a guy called Tony at Gravelwood, and he managed to source this car brand new. I've got a brand new McLaren.
Like first owner, brand new?
First owner. 15 miles on the clock when I picked it up.
That's always pretty special.
Wrapped in this satin khaki green by Dub. I decided on the colour before I decided on the car.
Okay.
Because I'm a gypsy, it hasn't got that many options on it. So it's not like a fully loaded car. Options, red brake calipers.
Yeah.
Very nice option. The wheels I wanted, the darker wheels. Haven't got any carbon, so this is all palladium, silver, etc.
But the palladium goes quite nice against the khaki.
I really like it. I think it works nice. It's subtle. Standard stock exhaust. It's not the sports exhaust, but we're going to be
no doubt that's changing.
We're going to be working on that. But for me, the main reason that this car was for me perfect and got me slightly fitting in my pants was the interior.
Yeah, the Alcantara.
Yeah, mainly actually the carbon components.
Okay, the carbon trim and stuff. Yeah.
And then yes, the Alcantara and the red stitching. I just knew they opened the doors at the dealership, and I was like, this is the one. This has to be the one.
Yeah, done. And I'm going to come around the back here
just
quickly.
Of course, please.
Pinstripes.
Yeah.
I'm going to rip you for that.
Can I say that Dub Customs are responsible for that?
Okay.
It was some inspired creativity from them, and I actually quite like it. So I think they probably got the idea from you. But.
Well, it was just not that long ago that we did the ones on
and
my car.
I was present when you were getting them done as well.
Yes, of course. Oh yeah, I had actually forgotten that.
Yeah.
Nice that you've already got your plate on it straight away.
Plate on it, and I'm blown away. Like I literally am. I can't believe that this is my car. I literally cannot believe it. But yeah, now I'm a McLaren owner. What is that about?
Yeah, 540C, come in for the badge. Oh yeah. You are a McLaren owner. You have the key in your pocket.
Hold on a sec.
Welcome to the club. Congratulations.
I have the key.
And that's wrapped as well.
MSO, no, Dub Customs.
Well, I have to say it's looking very good, and I had a lot of fun with the 540C, but I'm guessing with this kind of slippery, grimy weather we've got going on, it's going to be a while before you're opening it up like
and
crazy.
I still have to break it in, which, you know, it's a brand new supercar, so I'm like being like that really anal guy driving at 20 miles an hour, just breaking it in.
Yeah, just being careful. That first was about 1,000 miles or so. No, it's 1,000 kilometres, so
600 miles, exactly, that's what they said.
Should we jump in and go for a little drive?
A little drive?
It won't be anything crazy because we're in Richmond Park where you can't drive like a mentalist.
And it's greasy.
And there are deer and there's all sorts of stuff. But come on, fire it up for us. Hear the 3.8 V8 twin turbo. There we go. Familiar sound from the car that I was driving around in Dubai. So I'm going to jump in as well.
and we'll go for a little cruise around the park.
This is probably one of the worst places we could have come to shoot this video, but because at the time we're filming this, Sam has not yet released the car in a video over on his channel, we didn't really want to drive it around central London.
Nope.
And we didn't want to go for too many miles out of London, because if we do that, then, well, more people see you, increased chances of getting spotted and the secret out the bag.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like a ninja with this car at the minute. I'm like, don't look at me! Don't look at me!
Hide as much as you can.
Absolutely.
So where we are is like 20-30 mile an hour Richmond with lots of cyclists. Now, honestly, I did not think with the weather being like this, it would be this busy around here, but it is what it is.
Yep.
I'm actually noticing you've already managed to put over 300 miles on it, so
yes.
you're getting some driving.
Well, the thing is, I'm determined to break it in so I can start to have some fun, because I haven't, I mean, the weather doesn't really allow this time of year for you to push that much anyway.
Especially also because, you know, dare I say it, this is your first mid-engine supercar. You gotta get used to that kind of driving style.
Exactly.
I mean, when you've got the engine up front, it's a completely different type of feel. So from the F-Type R, of course, before.
We still like to go sideways.
I
had the 4C, which is a sports car.
Yeah, so the F-Type goes more sideways, but in here, if it goes sideways, it's going to snap much quicker.
Absolutely.
And by the time you hit that point of, oh dear, it's snapping, it's probably a bit late.
Yes, and I cannot afford to repair this car.
So best not smash it. Did you test drive a 540C before?
No.
Not a 540, okay.
So that's the interesting thing, and you know what? Because I was being a bit naive, I knew in heart of hearts the car I really wanted was a sports series, a 570, or S or GT, and they were out of reach financially. Yeah,
and that's one of the things, because so when McLaren lent me the 540C for my test drive that I did out in Dubai, and I did about 1,500 kilometers, no, maybe it was 1,200 kilometers on it.
Sure.
What I sort of realized was that you get sort of nearly all of 570S in a car that costs quite significantly less.
Well, that's exactly it. And it was, being completely honest, your video, speaking to some guys at McLaren who are very nice and very open.
They'll tell you the same thing. I mean, the thing you will notice, obviously, there's the 30 horsepower difference. I can't remember the exact torque difference, but there's a little bit of torque less as well.
Exactly.
But we're not talking huge numbers.
And for me, being my first supercar, this is still unbelievably
your first
quick.
supercar.
I mean, like, for me, this is still mind-blowing.
I'm just gonna shout out the cyclist.
Yeah. I like to drive at 10 miles an hour in my supercars.
8.
Yeah. But also, without being sort of, you know, completely max power-esque, it's 30 horsepower that I think I could probably get back with a cheeky exhaust or a tuning.
Yeah,
if I really want, if I suddenly feel like I'm really underpowered, which I highly doubt.
No, certainly not.
It's not like it's 100 horsepower.
No, the top speed's still like 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So it's not lacking.
That's exactly it.
Do you have like a long-term plan? You're going to keep the car for a while? You're going to do loads of things with it? I mean,
definitely
trips and mileage, I'm sure.
100% loads of things with it. This year, you know, having, you know, my first McLaren, my first supercar, I'm going to do everything I can possibly do with it. Trips, adventures, blah-de-blah. How long I keep it? At least a year, definitely a year. Whether longer, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see and work things out.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the minute, I can't imagine ever getting rid of it.
No. It's
I
like
love it that much. Yeah,
your sort of pride and joy, new toy, and it's feeling very nice and clean, and has that like new car
smell and feel. That's exactly it. Everything is so precious, and people come in here. I'm like, take your shoes off. Yeah.
First new car? No, the Biposto was new.
The Biposto was new. Had more miles on the clock, so I guess maybe more test drives. I bought that with 32 miles. This one only had 15. So this is newer in my mind.
But this is like is it your first ever new car, or some of your older cars have been?
No, this is my first ever new car, and my first ever supercar, my first ever McLaren, my first ever...
It's a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal. And
checklist tick.
And you know what's so funny? Being in this world of YouTube, I'm struggling to make videos about it because I genuinely am just so excited and just want to drive it. And
do you know what? I know how this goes. Every video is like,
yeah, that's exactly it. Like I tried to film, you know, the reveal video, which is probably up on my channel by now, and I forgot everything I wanted to say. I was like, oh, look at this, but wait, look at this. Oh my God, look at this. And I was like, it's an awful video, but I just am so ecstatic.
Well, I don't blame you at all. It's very, very, very cool. And I think one of the things I've sort of decided from driving this and driving lots of the other cars is this really is the one supercar that does everything. It can be your daily driver. It's comfortable. The suspension and setup is really nice. There's more than enough power to lay it down on a drag strip.
Well, that's exactly it. And a big thing for me and what we do on here, it's a bit warm in here, isn't it?
Playing with the air conditioning.
Yeah.
You've got it set for 24.
No, okay, so that, My girlfriend gets cold very easily. Yeah, the big thing is we live with these cars. We use them a lot. Obviously you're very fortunate where you've got a few things to choose from and you can spread mileage.
But this is the kind of car that if you want to do everything in one car, it ticks every single box.
That's exactly it. And we can blast down to Monaco and blah blah blah, and it's super comfortable at these sort of speeds and in this life. It's super easy.
Yeah, and there's decent luggage space in the front. You've got a good shelf behind you.
So that was a big attractive thing, but as I say, I think for me, if I really am honest with myself, this was the only option as the F-Type replacement. I just didn't think I'd find one in my budget, and it's
when it came up, snap,
like that was the one.
There goes the patient waiting for the next car.
That's literally it.
Right now.
When we first spoke about this whole situation, when you're like, oh, you sold the Jag, I went, yeah, I'm gonna get like a new car in like March, like just before.
You know what? You were saying, you'll use the Biposto as your sort of everyday kind of thing through the winter.
Yeah.
But this is way more practical.
It's
an everyday
so
car
much
than
better.
The Biposto.
It's so much better.
The only difference is parking it.
Yes, exactly. That's and obviously
safer, the value.
The value is quite significantly higher.
If something happens to the Biposto, it's at the end of the day, it's a Fiat 500 door mirror or something.
It's an Abarth. It's not a Fiat 500.
But it's still. I had an Abarth. I love the things. I'm nothing against them, but.
Yeah, no. I from that point of view, yeah, it's unbelievable how usable this car is, and yeah, I mean, I'm ecstatic. But it's obviously the performance as well. It's a proper supercar.
Yeah.
I have him telling me my tyre temperatures. I mean, what? Who knew that was a thing? Yeah, I'm literally like, guys, my tyres aren't warm enough. I can't accelerate right now.
Indeed, and you do need to be careful. Although you've probably got the regular P0, I guess.
Yes.
The comfort.
Yeah,
Like slightly quieter. Then they have the Coursas if you do a track day, and then if you're really going balls out, you put the Trofeo R's on.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't recommend that.
No, I don't think so.
I took them off the LT Spider, but if I had them on, I wouldn't be driving in weather like this today.
It would be
like this kind of greasy, cold road. That's where you just put a tiny bit of power down. Yeah.
Do I want to go straight or left?
Yeah.
Ooh, we're a bit lost in. That looks like a big speed bump, so I'm going left.
No, go straight. Go straight. Because that's a no through.
I'll have to engage my lift system.
Oh, you have a lift? Okay,
I do have a lift, because look at this. So we're going up a cliff now.
We are going up a bit of a cliff. This is where you go right in the middle and block the whole road. That's fine.
It'll be good. Holding up the poor Volvo 4x4 behind me. He's away! Look at that. Yeah, all of these little things I get totally nerd. I'm like, my lift. So in one second, let me just engage my powertrain. This thing that
have you played
so
in the
much.
active dynamics panel yet?
Yes, I haven't gone into track yet because I'm breaking it in, Tim. I'm breaking it in.
Yeah, well,
I went into
track.
No, exactly. I did a bit of sport mode just because I kind of had to.
Yeah.
But
livens it up, changes the dash a bit when.
Exactly, and also these shifter paddles, which I was so determined to
They're
get.
the same paddles as the LT.
That is
You've got the same carbon paddles, same steering wheel, same paddles. I mean, it's leather, not Alcantara, of course, because of 540C, but...
And it's funny because when, on Auto Trader, when I was starting to talk about 540s on all my social media stuff, people were sending me the link to a car which looked nearly identical externally to this car. So if you saw this car stock, it was almost the same, and I'm sure a lot of people would think that's the car I've bought, but it didn't have this carbon pack. So I kept saying, I don't want to spend all of this money, which is really more money than I have, and not have the shifter paddles, because that's for me, makes it a proper
you got very
supercar.
lucky, basically, that you're perfect
so lucky, yeah, exactly. Literally, we found the car. Tony that I was working with found the car and called me and said, I think I found it, mate. I think I found it. I was like, buy it.
Let's go.
I'll figure out the money later. Just buy it.
I know that problem. The swipe for the deposit before you work out how you're actually gonna.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little bit sick. I don't tend to check my bank balance that often, but I'm just trying to live life and love it. And as I say, sometimes you have to take these big risks. And
hell yeah! And the best thing I think is that people watching get to watch the experiences of owning and using them.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so.
We all put a disproportionate amount of our lives into our cars for our YouTube videos.
Which is crazy. And the thing is, I did this sort of series building up to this car, test driving lots of different things, which I guess opened up my audience to fall in love with a car that maybe I wouldn't end up buying. So it'll be interesting. I don't know what people's reaction is going to be.
You did it a completely different way. When I do it with a new car, as everyone knows, it's like, surprise!
Yeah, which is probably the right way to do it. But I was genuinely, when I started that series, I genuinely didn't know what car I was going to buy.
Yeah.
I knew what cars I wanted, of which the Sports Series was one. But I was open, so I thought, why not? And then as things moved along, obviously working hard behind the scenes to actually buy something.
Yeah.
But for me, this being this amount of money and my first supercar, it was only ever going to be my decision, if that makes sense. Without,
sure.
It was interesting to hear people's thoughts, but...
My equivalent is a lot of the audience tell me that the GT8 is a stupid thing to buy, partly because it's substantially more expensive than a lot of cars that make a whole lot more sense than ours, 570S, whatever else. But there's an emotional connection, and
Yeah.
all of these cars do what you want a car to do. They drive you from A to B. And when you're buying something, it's so personal. What you like the look of, what your heart is drawn to, what features stand out to you, and other people on the internet can always tell you, you should buy this, you should buy that, you should buy whatever. But they're not in your exact position, using the car how you want to use it.
Yeah, that's exactly
I find
it.
it's very easy for people to get carried away and tell you what.
And spending
you
this
should
much
have.
money. As I say, like, it's not an easy thing for me to do to spend this much money. So
here's something you're going to have to get used to.
Yeah.
When you put the lift up, obviously you continue driving with the lift up.
and I look like a noob.
Yeah, and if anybody takes a photo of your car when you've got the lift up, you do look bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to these kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
I keep trying to put it down. It's like, bonk, 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 you know, like learning the... And that was another thing, so I did just bang on more and more about my search for cars. A lot of people loved the R8, and that was, to be honest, the sort of top other contender, the new R8
Good luck
V10
doing a road
Plus.
trip in it.
Really?
Have you not looked in the bonnet?
Oh yes, okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, the bonnet
luggage
was
space
awful.
is horrendous.
But also, without sounding like a, you know, a total knob, it's that it was boring inside. It felt like an S3. Do you know what? Everything here is new. I'm having
You're
to
inside
learn.
a tub. You've got this sort of nice centre.
And everything's different. Everything's, you know, I'm having to learn all the different systems. While the R8 was very familiar. I knew where every button was. I knew how to turn everything on. And I was like, that's not that exciting. Well, I'm still like learning how to shut the doors properly. And
Yeah, and this
how
is,
to open
well,
the
this is,
bonnet.
I love the McLarens, even, you know, in the baby McLaren, you've still got all this tech, like the rocker shift paddles. You've got the steering wheel that was developed off Lewis Hamilton's grip when he raced for the McLaren F1 team. You've
Fits
got
me
the carbon
perfectly as
fibre
well.
tub. You've got the rear wheel
and the
braking
doors.
system.
And the doors, you know.
You've got the dihedral doors that go like this. Basically, there's a ton of tech in here that for a nerd is awesome.
Yes, absolutely. And I am a nerd.
Yes.
Freely admit.
It is very, very nice. Let's head back, park the cars up, because I want to take some photos. I'll take you together.
Many
to
photos.
Max.
That's all I'm doing at the minute, is taking photos.
Yeah,
I'm not even
photos.
driving it, I'm just staring at it and taking photos.
Well, that works. It's, congratulations, it's special.
Thank you very much. To many trips together in the future.
Yes, this year ahead. Now that we have successfully made Sam's car a little bit dirty, sorry,
Thanks for that.
but I appreciate the little run out in the 540C, the new,
Thank you for coming to see it.
the STG mobile.
Yeah, I think you might be the first. Paul hasn't seen it, James hasn't seen it, Seb hasn't seen it. You might
First
be the first
video
yeah.
outside of Sam's channel. You heard it
Indeed.
here first.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the club, to
Thank
the
you.
McLaren crew. Got the two where we've just been taking some photos. Welcome to the pinstripe
Yeah.
custom colour
Yes.
McLaren crew.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of that car. So thank you very much. Congratulations again.
Thank you for coming down. Absolutely.
But also, guys, don't forget, this car is going to be up at Autosport, so it'll be amazing to hopefully catch up with some of you up there, and hopefully you'll be able to see it in person, as well as my Vantage GT8 that's also going to be on a stand in the exhibition in the Performance Car Show as well. But a big thanks to Sam for taking me out in his new car. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go check out his channel as well if you haven't already. That's it for now, though. I will catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.